Good morning, New Zealand. It is Friday morning, end of the week. It is the 7th of March, and this is Daybreak. Rightio, let's check out the news that you need to be aware of, but the mainstream media may not have told you about. I am surprised that I'm here. I'm supposed to be on a flight this morning to Brisbane, of all places, but Hurricane Alfred Naro is coming into land in Brisbane, so we're wishing the people over there all the best and safety. So my plane did not take off, so the conference is not going ahead, sadly. Hopefully it will happen at a later date. So anyway, let's check out the news. And firstly, I did want to ask this question just about the fact that a group of people had painted a rainbow crossing in Wellington. It's this one. It's the T of the LGBT, so it's the transgender. And the group's come forward and admitted they've done it. And the council have painted over it because it is a road hazard. But Wellington's celebrating so-called Pride this weekend, and I'll come back to that with another story. But I just have a simple question. A group painted over some crossings and they got fined 16,000 and were prosecuted. My simple question is to the New Zealand police, has this group been prosecuted? Have they been charged? When I read the media coverage, it looked like that the council had not even referred them to the police, had just done some painting and said, there, don't do that again. I'd be just interested to see if there's any consistency. Which actually leads on to the next story, and that is that the bus company that provides the buses all around Wellington have painted one of their bus shelters with these lovely colours. Basically, when you catch a bus, all you're thinking about is your sexuality and your gender. The problem was that they posted this on Facebook and the responses weren't too good. In fact, you can see their Meta AI, which sort of summarises comments on Facebook, said, well, some people appreciated it, but some criticised the expenditure, etc. What I did find most amusing was the response of Metlink, the bus company, who said, we're actively monitoring this comment section. We will not be tolerating bigoted, homophobic, or otherwise hateful or exclusionary rhetoric. We are championing and reflecting the values our region is being celebrated for inclusivity, accessibility, and creating a welcome and safe space for all. The problem is they're not inclusive because they then stopped the comments and maybe they even deleted some they didn't like, but also they're not welcoming views that disagree with them. So, this is the problem with diversity, equity, and inclusion. It's only diverse and inclusive if you agree with them. Otherwise, they'll exclude you and they'll cancel you. One other story was from earlier this week when I mentioned the fact that while the Prime Minister was very keen to promote Ramadan and welcome everybody with Mark Mitchell, another National MP there, I just questioned, are they also going to do a message for those who are on Lent and were celebrating Ash Wednesday on the Wednesday just gone? And, well, must have been monitoring Daybreak because not long after that we saw this post. I'm wishing all those observing Lent, this is from the Prime Minister, a meaningful time of reflection and renewal, a season of fasting, prayer and penance brings you closer to your faith. Some people pointed out, well, he didn't say our faith. It's your faith. And Mark Mitchell actually did a video presentation. I think Mark Mitchell has a Catholic faith, and so he did a video encouraging everybody for Lent. So that was a nice follow-up. Right, what else? We're in the news in Fox News. Phil Goff is off from the UK, the New Zealand ambassador to the UK for his Trump derangement syndrome, and there we go. That's one of the lead stories on Fox News today. Top New Zealand diplomat fired for what he said about Trump. It was supposed to be Chatham House rules too. I still don't understand that because Chatham House rules means that what's in the meeting stays in the meeting. But when you live stream a meeting, Chatham House rules means nothing. Lunches are once again in the news this morning, every day. Every media outlet, and this one's interesting because it's actually about schools that have missed out on the lunches because it's only certain schools that qualify for the scheme, the lower decile, and every kid gets it, whether they need it or not. But there's other schools that don't get it, and this is Maidstone Intermediate in Wellington, Hutt Valley, who said about 80 to 90 of 530 pupils don't get the lunch because the school doesn't qualify. And apparently the scheme only goes to 25% of the students with the higher socio-economic needs. And so the principal said, is the food going to the right people? These people that are so complaining, are they the ones that really need the food? Because there are surely, I know for a fact, there are students who need food and they think the system is unfair. Look, whether you agree with the lunches or not, I think I have the solution. If you can do it for $3 a day, simply allocate. I mean, I don't think governments are good at running anything anyway, so why not just give the $3 allocation to schools for those students who have been identified as being in need, rather than just allowing parents to have the day off because they know the school's going to provide it. So let's just target the $3 per day at the students that actually need it. We will still save a whole lot of money, and it'll be targeted assistance, and we won't waste food. This was a disturbing story from across the Tasman. You can see the image here. This was during the Mardi Gras, which is the kind of LGBT big parade they have in Sydney. And it's a drag queen pointing a spear at someone dressed up as Jesus. Christians across Australia have responded with fury. The Australian Christian lobby is calling for the event to be defunded. They say New South Wales taxpayers and Sydney ratepayers are being forced to fund an event that promotes debauchery, sexual fetishes, and now religious mockery and blasphemy. Any other religion, this would be considered a hate crime. Which is so true, isn't it? I mean, you paint over a LGBT crossing and there's all hell to pay and it's wall-to-wall media coverage. You mock Jesus with a drag queen throwing a spear at Jesus at a Mardi Gras, and suddenly it's deemed to be entertainment. Interestingly, the Australian Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, actually marched at this Mardi Gras, and the provocative stunt was reminiscent of what happened at last year's Olympics, when we saw the Catholic groups and French bishops condemning the opening ceremony, where there was derision and mockery of Christianity. However, on the positive side, Disney's latest movie, Win or Lose, you won't believe this, after all the problems that Disney has been in, they've got their first explicitly Christian character in nearly 2 decades. A move that starkly contrasts with the studio's recent decision to drop a transgender storyline from the same movie. This is according to Christian Post. Win or Lose is sort of based on Inside Out, that type of movie. And they have a character, this character here, Laurie, who prays for an upcoming game, bows her head and folds her hand in prayer as she asks God for strength. It marks the first time a Disney character is portrayed offering an explicitly Christian prayer since 1996, The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Now, not all the content is biblical. They have another scene where there's the mum is doing tarot cards. So it's not perfect, but some of the LGBT groups are very upset, and they linked the episode with the Christian right and warn that the inclusion of Laurie's character hints at Disney's embrace of a cultural shift toward traditional conservatism during the second Trump administration. Well, speaking of Trump, he has just defunded this particular group, the United Nations LGBTI Core Group. It's a coalition of countries dedicated to advancing the rights of LGBTQI plus minus divided by a sign. And it was established in 2008, over 40 countries. Apparently it was established by Canada, France, Germany, Australia, Mexico, Spain, the UK and South Africa. I bet New Zealand was there involved somehow. And it's basically works to ensure the universal recognition of LGBTQ plus rights. And it's at the UN, and Trump has rightly said, why are we funding this? Let's stop pushing the agenda. The other thing that he's also defunded is the UNFPA, which is the Population Control Agency, which promotes abortion worldwide. Apparently, the US gives $377 million, and it's the result of the pro-life executive order that Trump signed in January that prohibits American tax dollars to groups that promote or provide abortions overseas. And it ensures that US taxpayer dollars do not fund organisations or programs that support or participate in the management of a program of coercive abortion or involuntary sterilisation. Another great decision from Trump. Just finally, some good news, parents, if you're feeling a bit tired this morning. This is from the Centrist, a new study analysing brain scans from nearly 38,000 UK adults found that parents showed stronger brain connectivity in regions that typically decline with age. It's from Rutgers University. The effect was seen in both mothers and fathers, suggesting that caregiving itself, not just pregnancy, provides cognitive benefits. I mean, they make jokes about baby brains, don't they? You know, mothers having foggy baby brains. It's not true. Good news. Notably, men with more children also showed stronger grip strength. Rah. Another marker of cognitive resilience. The study was published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, and these findings align with broader research on aging, where greater social connectivity and physical engagement predict better long-term brain health. So parents, if you are feeling tired, don't panic. Your brain is working overtime. Maybe that's why you're feeling a little bit tired. Anyway, that's all we've got time for. We'll be back on Monday around this time for more Daybreak, giving you the wake-up call, telling you the stories you need to know. Until then, have a great weekend.